Yamunatira Tanakari
Yamunatira Panachari
Yamunatira
Hare Krishna.
Tanakari
Yamunatira Panachari
Radha Madhava Indra Bihari
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunda Vihari
Jaya Radha Radha Madhava Shiva Devi
Madhava Radha
Jaya Radha Madan Mohan Radha Madan Mohan Sri Radhe
Radha Madan Mohan Radha Madan Mohan Shri Radhe
Jaya Radha Govinda Radha Govinda Sri Radhe
Radha Govinda Radha Govinda Shri Radhe
Jaya Radha Gopinata Radha Gopinata Sri Radhe
Jaya Radha Gopinata Radha Gopinata Shri Radhe
Jai Radha Shama Sundar Radha Shama Sundar Sri Radhe
Jaya Radha Shama Sundar Radha Shama Sundar Shri Radhe
Jaya Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Jaya Krishna
Jaya
Balaram
Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram.
Jaya Gauranitai 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 Jaya Gauranitai
Gauranitai, 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 Jaya Gauranitai.
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada.
Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol
Nitai Gaura Haribo, 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 Nitai Gaura Haribo.
Hare Krishna. Well,
Hare Krishna, thank you, Maharaj.
I'm saying here I'm here in ISKCON Vancouver. Actually, I'm in the property of ISKCON Vancouver, but just
Oh,
like in the ashram of my sister and brother-in-law, Grihastha ashram, within the property. So that's why I'm
wow.
in Pacific time.
Yeah.
So again, uh, so this morning we'll be reading from the Shrimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 10, Text 16 and 17. Am I correct?
Yes, Maharaj.
Okay, let's see this. Bhuta sarga stritiyastu tanmatro dravya shaktiman chaturta indriya sargo yastu jnana kriyatmaka. Bhuta sarga, the creation of
Bhuta
matter.
Sarga.
Tritiya is the third. We read together the 17th verse when there is a purport. Shaktiman, generator. Chaturta, the fourth. Aindriya, the matter of the senses. Sarga, creation. Yeah, that which two, but jnana, knowledge, acquiring. Kriya, working. Atmaka, basically. the sense perceptions are created in the third creation, and from this, the elements are generated. The fourth creation is the creation of knowledge and of working capacity. Tanmatras. Okay, so text 17. Vaikariko deva sarga panchamoyan mayang mana sastastu tamasa sargo yastu abudhi kita prabhu. Vaikariko deva sarga panchamoyan mayang mana sastastu tamaso sargo yastu abudhi krita prabhu. Vaikarika, interaction of the mode of goodness, deva, the demigods or controlling deity, sarga, creation, panchama, fifth, yat, that which, mayam, sum total, mana, mind, sasta, six, two, but, tamasa, of darkness, sarga, creation, ya, that which, two, expletive, abudhikrita, made foolish, Prabhu of the Master. The fifth creation is that of the controlling deities by the interaction of the mode of goodness, of which the mind is the sum total. The sixth creation is the ignorant darkness of the living entity, by which the Master acts as a fool. Purport. The demigods in the higher planets are called devas because they are all devotees of Lord Vishnu. Vishnu Bhakta Shmito Daiva Asurastad Viparyaya. All the devotees of Lord Vishnu are devas or demigods, whereas all others are asuras. That is the division of the devas and the asuras. Devas are situated in the mode of goodness of material nature, whereas the asuras are situated in the modes of passion or ignorance. The demigods or controlling deities are entrusted with departmental management of all the different functions of the material world. For example, one of our sense organs, the eye, is controlled by light. Light is distributed by the sunrise, and their controlling deity is the sun. Similarly, mind is controlled by the moon. All other senses, both for working and for acquiring knowledge, are controlled by the different demigods. The demigods are assistants of the Lord in the management of material affairs. After the creation of the demigods, all entities are covered by the darkness of ignorance. Each and every living being in the material world is conditioned by his mentality of lording it over the resources of material nature. Although a living entity is the master of the material world, he is conditioned by ignorance, by the false impression of being the proprietor of material things. The energy of the Lord, called avidya, is the bewildering factor of the conditioned souls. The material nature is called avidya or ignorance, but to the devotees of the Lord engaged in pure devotional service, this energy becomes vidya or pure knowledge. This is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. The energy of the Lord transforms from Mahamaya to Yogamaya and appears to pure devotees in her real feature. The material nature therefore appears to function in three phases as the creative principle of the material world, as ignorance and as knowledge. As disclosed in the previous verse, in the fourth creation, the power of knowledge is also created. The conditioned souls are not originally fools, but by the influence of the avidya function of material nature, they are made fools, and thus they are unable to utilize knowledge in the proper channel. By the influence of darkness, the conditioned soul forgets his relationship with the Supreme Lord and is overwhelmed by attachment, hatred, pride, ignorance, and false identification. Five kinds of illusion that cause material bondage: attachment, hatred, pride, ignorance, and false identification. Hare Krishna. Very interesting. Vaikariko, Deva, Sarga Panchamoyan Mayam. Or 16th verse. Bhuta Sargas Tritiyastu Tanmatro Drabya Saktiman Chaturta Andriya Sargo Yastu Jnana Kriyatatmak. Vaikariko Deva Sarga Panchamoyan Mayang Mana Sastastu Tamaso Sargo Yastu Abudi Krita Prabho. So this is the system of creation. Well, the title of the chapter is Divisions of the Creation. There are, when it comes to the creation of the material energy, because it is ultimately the desire of the living entities to experience this enjoying propensity. But to enjoy or to be happy separate from Lord Krishna, it is not possible. Um, we can only be always be happy if we are with Lord Krishna. And with the material energy, it is not possible. So, how we get entrapped in this material world, um, we have to figure out what is the cause and how to get out of it. We have to see where we can make advancement and implement this knowledge that we're getting from the Srimad Bhagavatam or the Puranas, or other Vedic literatures, even the Acharyas, the six Goswamis. Um, our uh, in our disciplic succession, they wrote many, many books, which are all essential for our advancement. And even in higher level of Krishna consciousness, the discussion very intricate. But here is like um, explaining to us how it come about one by one. Where what is the cause? It's like the Garbhodakashayi Vishnu, who is the expansion of Mahavishnu in each and every universe. Um, Lord Brahma comes out from the lotus flower, from the navel of Garbhodakashayi Vishnu. Then there's sprout this lotus flower, and he became the second creator. The original creator is Mahavishnu. Whenever there is an inhalation or annihilation, total. There's a total dissolution whenever Lord Vishnu will inhale and exhale. So similarly, every 100 years of Lord Brahma, there is also a dissolution. Um, yes, and there is a partial whenever he sleeps. So this creation, how it takes place, ultimately is described. How all of this um, material energy. In the beginning, it's pradhan. It's like there's no. It's like just the energy itself. But then by the glance, says by the glance of Lord Vishnu, then this creation, Mahatattva, first came. The first creation is the creation of the Mahatattva. Ah, it says, or the Mahatattva, first creation, or the sum total of the material ingredients in which there is disturbance of the gunas causes by the Lord. So the three modes of material nature are there: goodness, passion, and ignorance. Then after that is the false ego. When we say false ego, that means that is the misidentification again with the material elements, five gross and three subtle. That includes the mind and intelligence, and again the person, the jiva, the jiva atma. So yes, this goes in sequence. Um, the source, there's different senses also. Um, there is a controlling deities, as we've heard. The different organs that we have, there is controlling deities, the devatas. As Shastra says, there are two kinds of living beings, the devatas and the asuras, or the devotees and non-devotees. Asuras means uh, one who defies the orders or the existence of the Supreme Lord. They are like, they're demons, demoniac by nature, because they're mostly under the modes of ignorance and passion. So, as we are under discussion today, um, the third creation, the matter, is that of tanmatras, power to produce the gross elements. And the fourth creation is that of knowledge and action of the senses. Mm, yes. So that means, yeah, this senses that we have, actually, these are the extension of the mind. How the mind would like to uh, experience the material. The connection between the soul and the gross body and other material senses is the mind. Mind is like uh, the central hub. The central hub. Hmm. Yes. It says here, and the mind from ahankar in sattva. Yeah, the fifth is the creation of the sense devatas and the mind from ahankar in sattva, or mode of goodness. It says here, of which the mind is a sum total. What do you mean by interaction of the mode of goodness? There is such thing as interaction. Uh, the mode of goodness, even though it's still one of the modes of material nature, at least Prabhupada says we should come to the mode of goodness, because in the mode of goodness, there is knowledge, there is also uh, clarity, we're able to see things. Uh, we're all there is like we want order or harmony, not very distorted. As the Bhagavad Gita says, a very important point, especially in the 6th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, um, because in the Sattva Guna, we can see more things clearly. There is at least there is what you call uh, a tendency to be more in a shanti, peace, or self-awareness, because the jiva, they've been inflicted by the material energies mode of ignorance and passion. Material energy means ignorance. Material energy means maya. Ah, maya means covering energy of the Supreme Lord. Even though it is inferior by nature compared to the jivas, but the jiva became, you may say, subjugated, became succumbed because of the interaction of the different modes of nature. So at least we should be interacting in the mode of goodness. The mind should be peaceful. How the mind can be peaceful? Because these different creations, like the senses, uh, to enjoy the sense objects, it has to be controlled. The false ego will think, yes, I want to enjoy my senses. I am the enjoyer. I am the enjoyer of my senses. I am the proprietor of all I survey. This is false ego. So the mind analyze all of this, um, how to fulfill. It says in the Bhagavad Gita, the living entities uh, can be um, under the if one is under the modes of material nature, says bodily platform. When we say bodily platform, it is called mental platform, because again the mind is like what, sankalpa, uh, vikalpa, is it accepting and rejecting. uh, this is the nature. Analyze, how can I be practically be comfortable, happily situated. Uh, how can I be make myself um, comfortable? Yes. So we have to somehow analyze things, because Maya is very tricky. Uh, the whole purpose of Maya is to bind us into this material world and not to let us go. Yes, and to put us into illusion, avidya. So this avidya uh, says that we have to get rid of it. And here in the material world, the mind is the one who's analyzing: is this correct, or shall I do it, or shall I not do it? Then higher than the mind is the intelligence. See, higher than the senses is the mind, higher than the mind is the intelligence, then higher than the intelligence is the soul. So the symptom of the soul is that ego, that identification that I'm spirit soul, I'm servant of Lord Krishna. This is real. Whatever the mind, if it has nothing to do, not thinking of Krishna, has nothing to do for Krishna or his devotees, that means it has to be discarded, and that will be what we call ignorance. Yes. So the demigods, they are close to this. They are different level of living beings, while the demons also different level of living beings. Both are existing in this world, but the demigods, it says, they're the ones who are helping the administration of the universe. Different demigods assist the Lord in managing the material affairs. So there's this. That's why the whole thing. Why is it that there is a creation and then there's a partial dissolution and then there is a ultimate dissolution? What about these different energies? Why do we have to know all of these things? Yes, it is very important to know and apply this knowledge. Then becomes vidya. This knowledge, if we understand that Krishna is supreme and I'm his servant and I cannot act like I'm the master, and I have to get rid of this avidya, come to the platform of Gyan, Vidya, absolute, supreme absolute knowledge. We have to come to the platform where we understand what is this, what is the meaning by the mind is the sum total of the material life, because it depends. The mind can be our best friend or the mind can be our greatest enemy. Uh, if we dovetail all of our activities for Krishna's pleasure, uh, get rid of this being conditioned by Mahamaya, because our conditioning is that we have forgotten Krishna. This is the main root cause of all the disease that we have. That our relationship with Him became overwhelmed by different illusions, uh, understanding uh, which is not supposed to be. We became materially attached. Body, having body means material attachment. So we have to purify this attachment, transfer it to for Krishna's pleasure. Uh, if there is any anger or hatred, that means due to also our in the bodily concept. Sometimes we say, "Oh, I hate this. I don't like this. Uh, yeah, I don't like that." I know why. Why? Again, it's the mind. There's nothing in Prabhupada. There's not says there's nothing good and nothing bad in this world. Everything is bad. Yeah, it is only if we use everything for Krishna, then that is transcendental. Yes. False ego means pride. False ego means superiority complex. Yes. The more one is advanced in Krishna consciousness, the more one is humble. He doesn't want any name, fame, adoration, glorification. No. Ah, it's only the mind who's wanting this, all of these things. Um, In the Bhagavad Gita, Prabhupada says, purport, chapter 6, text 6. The mind is the center of all the activities of the senses, and thus the mind is the reservoir of all ideas of sense gratification. Therefore, unless the mind is engaged in Krishna consciousness, the senses are always busy with activities in terms of desire and aversion. Yes. So in this material world, the mind integrates everything, the processing, and the different elements that drives uh, of one, how one can become more and more entangled in the material world or become gradually, eventually detached. Uh, because yes, we have to detach ourselves from the material nature. Then this is what makes us look fools, the conditioned souls. Even though the conditioned souls, conditioned, yes, but superior by nature compared to the material nature. Superior because it's spirit and has nothing to do with the material nature. So yes, we have to get out of darkness. Beware of darkness and get out of darkness. This is the like the awakening of the conditioned soul. We were talking about that the other day. Awakening. That means yes, you have to utilize everything, all the senses, the mind, the intelligence, and really come to the soul proper, soul platform. So yes, all of this uh, that we desire, everything that we contemplate, everything that we either we accept or reject, this is the mind. When we imagine something, this is the mind. Ah, hmm. Everything grows in the material world originates first as a subtle conception in the mind. So, yes. Um, so it indicates here that the mind it coordinates all of these things. The sensory experience and thus is a central summary of material interaction. So the mind is like the main hub. It consolidates everything and has to decide properly. That's why the intelligence has to be sharpened because the ultimately the decision, uh, if the intelligence is properly used, then the mind will follow. The mind will follow. But if the intelligence is lost, yeah, it says the intelligence is lost. How the intelligence get lost? Well, if it's covered up, maya paritagyana, ah, manusim, tanim asvita. Yes, this intelligence has been stolen by the mental speculation, uh, by illusion. So can be the cause of our material bondage, and it can be also the cause of our liberation. So yes, there are many examples from the scriptures how we can do this, how we can get out, and this is just one of them. Okay, I will stop here. Is there any question or comments? Let's try.
Hare Krishna, Maharaj. Thank you so much for sharing this wisdom with us. Dear devotees, if anyone may have questions, comments, reflections, realizations you may want to ask or share, please indicate by using the hand emoji or your physical hand, and you'll be asked to unmute to ask your questions or share your realizations, reflections.
Yes.
Hare Krishna. Well, Maharaj, again, thank you for speaking. This living entity who originally is superior to the external energy, but now is subjugated due to bad choices. Now, the question is, why does the independence that Krishna has for us? We are all parts and parcels of Krishna. So Krishna is never going to take away the independence we have. But my question now is, how do these conditioned 11 entities properly utilize this independence to act in such a way that we do not become subjugated by this illusory energy of the Lord? How do we properly utilize this independence? Because it looks like I'm here struggling. I'm struggling so much. And it's all because I did not properly utilize this independence that Krishna gives to me.
You see, no one can force anyone to become Krishna conscious. It comes out of one's own will. This will only happen if, see, that's why human form of life is meant for self-realization. So we have to know all of these things. This is the duty of the human form of life. So now the free will, again, is there. And the mind, we have to know the mechanism of this, how the mind works. That's why so that we can really, before we act, we can see whether am I getting closer to Krishna or am I going away from Krishna, getting away from Krishna. So the free will is there, and we have to know how to use it properly. Misuse means I'm using it for my own, not for Krishna. And that freedom is there. That makes Krishna perfect, to give that choice. Yeah? To give that opportunity to exhibit our minute independence. That what makes Krishna perfect. That's why he's God. It's not like, a one way, no control. But we are responsible for our activities, our choice. So that's where karma kicks in. But if we're always with the devotees who will always remind us, who will always tell us, or like aligned us, yes, that's the main uh, advantages of being with devotees. It's always there to remind us. of Krishna. So then we can make proper decision. Otherwise, we always wanted to exhibit our free will. Exhibiting free will not without Krishna is karma. Everything that we act meant for Lord Krishna, then there's no karma. How do we know which one is meant for Krishna or which is meant for me? Well, that's why there is a guru, sadhu, and sastra. You can ask if you're not sure what you're going to do, what you're going to decide. That's mode of goodness. Usually, the mode of passion means just make very abrupt decision. And usually the first decision or impression, usually it is wrong. If it's done, haphazardly, the mode of passion and ignorance. That's why we have to think many times first before we finally decide. Yes.
Well, thank you so much, Maharaj. There is this saying that ignorance is bliss.
That's why the
So,
mind. That's what the mind say. Yes. Don't trust the mind.
well, there, long before a certain point in time, well, like I said, this platform is so helpful. It's helping me personally to learn a lot because prior to the time, I used to think that the soul is the driver of this body. And then from the discussion we had that day, my
Yeah.
senior big brother, who is Shimabara, said, well, according to Krishna and the Bhagavad Gita, the intelligence is the driver of the body. And ever since I got to know the intelligence is the driver of the body, I've been quite sad because if the intelligence is the driver of the body, and me, the actual self, the soul, I am sitting in this vehicle of this body, and the intelligence is very, excuse my language, very crazy. It's telling me, go here, go there, do this, do that. And I'm just a passenger, the actual self. Now, you were saying that the intelligence has to be sharpened. How does the intelligence get sharpened to a point to understand that, hey, you, my little brother mind, you're thinking crazy. You're doing this bad thing. Don't do it this way. How does the intelligence get sharpened to become a proper driver to drive us to the right destination in full?
Yes.
So we don't get accident on the way.
No, you see, that's why this is very important. This Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. I know many devotees, they are engaged early in the morning hearing japa. They have a japa room. We call it japa room. And also um, they have a conference call. They will read from the Shrimad Bhagavatam. And yes, wherever I go, even in UK, even old people, they've been doing it for years. Even before COVID, they're already having meetings. And they discuss, they read Bhagavatam, they hear um Bhagavad Gita. Yes, go attend some of this retreats, or take Bhakti Sastri, Bhakti Vaibhav. All these things helps sharpen the intelligence. Hearing from other advanced devotees, and ultimately uh, application, the application of what one heard. That is the test whether if our material desires are decreasing. Is a test whether am I being compassionate. Is a test whether I'm like be as truthful as much as I can. All these good qualities will manifest once because I says armed with intelligence, huh? Sword, cut. We have to use. Sometimes we use heart, and sometimes we use the intelligence, isn't it? Intelligence is important to be making decision that will help us be Krishna conscious. The intelligence, they're the decision. It is the decision making to do or not to do. But then the mind is the one who's saying, yes, maybe we should do it, maybe we should not do it. It's like pulling and pushing also. But the intelligence can say, okay, no. And the mind should say no. Yes, yes.
The problem is that this mind is too troublesome.
The problem is we are not able to apply it properly.
Mm,
If we apply it in the proper uh, situation, proper position, strategic place, because its last sitting place of last is in the mind intelligence. Ah, and yes, our false ego. Yes, so we have to replace that with love, prem, with Krishna, and be engaged as much as possible. Even while working, one can think of Krishna many ways. Yeah,
mm,
that is a big difference. If you have a good sadhana in the morning, getting up early by 5 a.m., do your puja, worship the spiritual master, chant some rounds before going to work, read also before, like even a sloka or two. Then while on the way to work, listen to Prabhupada's lectures. You'll be very Krishna conscious, I'm telling you, the whole day. There- There's no doubt about that one.
mm.
Am I correct?
Yes, Maharaj, you are.
It depends on our will. Yeah,
Mm,
if there's a will, there's a way. That's what they said, isn't it? So that goes in Krishna consciousness because we have to get out of avidya.
mm,
We're too much in avidya, too much ignorance. We have to get out. Mataji, Gita Mataji says, could you please explain how to practically understand difference between mind and intelligence?
mm,
Ocho. Yes, the intelligence is higher than the mind because it is more subtle. The more subtle it is, see, after intelligence, it's the jiva now, the jiva atma, the one who is in the spiritual entity. So now Why is it that we become like under the modes of Maya? Because the senses are uncontrolled. The mind is also just thinking for one's own benefit. The mind says it should be always thinking of Krishna. It says, Man manabhamad bhaktao madhyaji mam namaskuru. That's the mind. That's the mind's purpose. To always think of Krishna and never forget him. So, yes, the intelligence coming from what we've understood, coming from the Sastra, coming from Lord Krishna himself, because Sastra means Lord Krishna, words of Lord Krishna or activities of Lord Krishna from the sadhus, sages, from realized souls. So when we hear from them, because that is what it called realized knowledge, then we don't have to experiment. It's like directly given to us information. Just have to apply them. We don't have to speculate. That's what it means. We don't have to speculate. So the mind is like the repository. It is like the central coordinator of all of these different elements, the senses, the desire to enjoy, the propensity to be independent. Uh, so all of this, if it's not properly executed by the intelligence, uh, saying that this is what should be done, and it should be done, then the mind again. That's why we are in discussion of this. Then it becomes easier for us to analyze how things work. Yeah, it says here that the mind is medium between the spiritual soul and the gross body. The mind is the medium. It acts as the medium between spiritual soul and the gross body. So yes, when we're in the middle of kirtan, it's a different feeling. We're in the middle of like some fighting or some is it completely different. So the um, individual soul experience this because through the mind, and then the intelligence again. The intelligence will say, "Am I getting closer to Krishna if I act like this?" Based from all the information is gathered, received. Am I going away with Krishna by this action? That means, is this being uh, selfish of me? That this is only for my own benefit? Therefore, this is going away from Krishna. So the intelligence analyze like this. And eventually, whatever the mind is thinking, if it's thinking opposite, then the intelligence should be followed. This is the how we can experience the difference. How we can understand a little bit. This is subtle, but we can try by just words, and it's not so easy. But that's the closest I can understand the difference between the mind and intelligence. The mind's function is uh, thinking, feeling, and willing. Thinking, feeling, and willing. But then, if the intelligence can detect immediately that the mind is wandering or going somewhere, then the intelligence can strengthen up the mind. Provided also that the ego is always thinking I'm a servant of Krishna. So that's always should be there. The ego should be always thinking I'm servant of Krishna, and Krishna is the supreme master. That's the proper way to understand this thing. Okay?
Yeah.
Gita Mataji?
Thank you, Maharaj. There is one question in the chat room from
Okay,
Madhu Prabhu.
go ahead.
It says, Maharaj, Hare Krishna, how is the mind controlled by the moon? Because this was a
How is the
statement
mind?
about the mind. How is the mind controlled by the moon?
I can tell you why. Because again, each and every senses or every material elements that is accompanying the soul
Mm.
is controlled by different deities. So the moon, Chandra, it is Chandra Loka. So the moon, the planet, the deity, he's in charge. That's why he said it depends on the moon. There's high tide, there's low tide. And if it's full moon, usually those who are mentally imbalanced, then in the full moon, they also become, like increase more. They're being mentally imbalanced. Have you heard of that before? Yeah, we have that experience before.
Oh yes, Maharaj. It's a, I don't know. It's a common knowledge that
Yeah,
most people have, but even though we know, but we don't really know how that works.
yeah. How we cannot explain that
Yeah, we can.
scientifically, but that happens, right?
Yeah,
Okay. So the moon, yes, is there.
yeah.
It purifies. The moon is cooling also. You can have one moon and many stars. You cannot compare one moon. So there is one moon in our, and it says that this moon uh, is in the heavenly planets. May look, we can see, but very far away. Okay.
Hmm. Thank you so much. All right.
Okay.
Anyone else with something to ask or to share before we call it a day?
Thank you for your kind association.
Oh, Maharaj, there is one hand up. Hare Chakra Prabhu, please, you may unmute.
Yeah. Hare Krishna Maharaj. Thank you
Hare
very much. Yeah, thank you very much
Who is
for the
this?
class.
Hare Chakra.
Hare
Hare
Chakra, Prabhu.
Chakra.
Yeah.
Haribol.
Okay, Maharaj, my question is, I sometimes, most of the time we hear that we should bring the mind under control. We should control our
Yes.
mind. So controlling the mind, once you control the mind, does it automatically make you Krishna conscious?
Well, control, Prabhupada says, it's not possible to control the mind because the mind is always thinking, always desiring, always making plans,
Hmm.
always looking for some scheme, how to make money, how to do this, how to be happy, how to enjoy. So Prabhupada says the only way how we can control the mind is to think of Krishna. Okay. That is
All
the
right,
only
Maharaj.
way. That's what I mean by how you control the mind. Control the mind means think of Krishna favorably. We can do that during the whole day, even though we all have different activities. Some have to go to work, with family, with relatives, other responsibilities. But we should be always thinking of Krishna, and that is possible. Okay?
Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Well, thank you so much, Maharaj. Dear devotees, we are going to humbly request you all to kindly unmute yourselves, and we all together chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra to express our appreciation to His Holiness for sharing His love and wisdom with us today. I know Canada is a very interesting place, even though it's summer, but it's always chilly there in Canada.
Yeah, a little bit here is raining. Well, it's
Yeah.
sunny today, so thank you
Okay.
very much.
Well, so devotees, please, you may all unmute and die. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha, kripa sindhubheva cha, Nityanam Bhavanabhyo Vaishnava Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai.
Hari Ram.
All glories to His Holiness Bhakti Anugraha Swami Maharaj ki jai. Jagat Guru Param Guru Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Bhagavad Sasamud Vaishnava Vaishnavi devotees ki jai. Hare Krishna. Well, devotees, we thank you as always. Today is Friday. We pray to their lordships and to the Parampara to help guide, protect us through the weekend and bring us back here again next week, starting Monday. Today is the 18th day of July, and in very few weeks, Lord Balaram is going to appear. And soon after that, Lord Krishna is also going to appear. So we are already in that mood of trying to receive their lordships. So it's a moment of special blessings. So we see you all next week by Shri Guru Krishna's grace. Hare Krishna. Thank you all.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Oh, so, let me see, sorry.